What will happen when a 12-year-old girl walks into a vet's office with a strange box and causes the entire clinic to panic? Sirens, sealed rooms, and a growing sickness follow just because she tried to help a hurt creature from the forest. But this was no ordinary animal, and the truth is terrifying. The story begins on a quiet afternoon. Ellie, a 12-year-old girl, walked into the vet's office holding a small cardboard box. No one really noticed her. She looked like any other kid. Maybe she had a sick kitten or a baby bird inside. Nothing unusual. But then Ellie softly said, "I don't have an appointment, but it's urgent." That's when things started to feel strange. The assistant asked her to open the box. At first, she just looked inside. Then her face went pale. She jumped back and screamed for the vet. "Don't touch it," she told Ellie in a shaky voice. People sitting in the waiting room stood up in fear. Some backed away, others rushed out the door. Ellie didn't move. She was confused. Why was everyone scared? She had found the creature alone in the forest. It looked hurt, and she only wanted to help. She didn't know what it was, but she never imagined this kind of reaction. The vet rushed into the hallway, already alarmed by the screaming and panic outside. People were shouting. Some had run out of the waiting room. He had no idea what was going on until he saw the box in Ellie's hands. He quickly opened it, looked inside, and froze. His face went pale, then serious. Without saying a single word, he grabbed the box and ran into another room. He slammed the door and locked it behind him. Ellie stared in shock. "Where are you taking the box?" she cried, her voice trembling. She had brought the creature for help. Now it felt like someone had taken it from her. When the vet came back, his face was hard. His voice was cold. "It's too dangerous," he said. "We've locked it away. You're not allowed near it." Ellie tried to follow him, but he blocked her path. "The police are on their way. You need to sit down and wait." Police? Why? Ellie hadn't done anything wrong. She just wanted to help an injured creature. Moments later, sirens wailed outside. Officers rushed in, along with people in green jackets, environmental experts. They surrounded Ellie, asking questions she didn't understand. She felt small, confused, scared. One officer told her to call her parents. Her hands shook as she dialed. When her parents heard what happened, they became tense and rushed to the clinic. 15 minutes later, they arrived, angry and worried. "Why are you treating our daughter like this?" they asked. They gently asked Ellie what had happened. She sat on a small chair, her hands shaking, trying to find the right words. While doctors checked her for any signs of illness or danger, the room with the creature was sealed shut. People in hazmat suits moved in and out, their faces serious. The air felt heavy. Everyone seemed scared. Suddenly, loud shouting came from the sealed room. The creature had broken out of its cage. Guards rushed to block the door. It was trying to escape. No one knew what it might do if it got outside. Ellie looked down, scared and confused. Then, softly, she began to speak. She loved animals. She had always helped them. Birds, puppies, even baby squirrels. She just thought this one needed help too. Her parents nodded. It was true. That morning, Ellie had gone to the forest for a walk. Her parents had said it was okay, as long as she didn't go too deep. She loved the quiet trees, the birds, and the soft crunch of leaves under her shoes. As she walked along the path, she suddenly heard a soft cry. It didn't sound like any bird or animal she knew. Curious, she followed the sound. It led her deeper into the forest, where she found something strange hiding under a patch of moss. It was small, trembling, and not like anything she'd ever seen before. Not from a book, not from the internet. The creature looked scared, and maybe even hurt. So Ellie gently picked it up and made a tiny bed using the cover of her travel bag. But as she placed it inside, something stung her hand. It was quick, like a tiny prick. She brushed it off and didn't think much of it. Now, sitting in the vet's office, she showed the police the spot on her hand. It had turned dark purple. A doctor rushed over, looking very serious. Ellie also mentioned the woman who had given her the box and dropped her off at the clinic. The police found her through her car's license plate. She had the same purple mark, and it was spreading. Even the vet started coughing. That's when everyone realized this wasn't just about one strange creature. Something dangerous was spreading fast. It wasn't just touching people anymore. It could be in the air. Ellie, the woman who brought her, and the vet were rushed to the hospital. They were placed in sealed rooms, away from everyone else. It was too risky to let them stay near others. On the way to the hospital, Ellie passed out in the ambulance. Her parents weren't allowed to be with her anymore. Doctors were scared the sickness might spread to them too. Her parents were placed in a special room, just in case. Back at the forest, a team went to the place where Ellie had found the creature. What they saw was terrifying. The ground was dead. Trees, grass, plants, everything had turned brown and dry. There was a large circle where nothing was alive. This wasn't just an infection. It was destroying nature too. The team collected a sample and sealed off the area. One officer bravely offered to drive the sample to a high-security lab. Roads were shut down. Police cars followed him. Time was running out. Meanwhile, at the vet's office, scientists in hazmat suits checked the room. The creature was still there, but now they saw something worse. It had laid eggs. The health department made a painful choice. The creature had to be burned, right there in the room. Moving it was too dangerous. The sample from the forest was sent to different countries. After some time, a reply came from one. They had seen this before. It was a rare, rodent-like creature that could destroy forests and make people sick. Their message was clear: burn everything it touched. A second team returned to the forest to destroy what was left. They also burned the clothes and items of anyone who had been near it. But the worst news was still to come. More calls were coming in. People across the city were getting sick. Purple rashes, fevers, dizziness. It had already started to spread. Hospitals filled up. News channels warned people to stay inside. But even with fear growing, there was still a little hope. The country that had faced this outbreak before quickly sent help. They didn't have a full cure, but they had medicine that could slow down the infection. Doctors everywhere were working day and night. Then, something surprising happened. One doctor noticed something odd. Everyone who had been at the vet clinic or near Ellie got sick except her parents. They were completely fine, not a single symptom. Doctors rushed to test their blood. What they found was amazing. Ellie's parents were immune. Their blood was used to make antibodies, which could help fight the infection. The new medicine was quickly given to Ellie. Everyone waited, holding their breath. Hours later, Ellie opened her eyes. She was awake. She had survived. When she asked what happened to the creature, the doctors gently told her everything. Ellie felt heartbroken. She had only wanted to help. She never meant to cause harm. But the doctors looked at her kindly and said, "You didn't cause this. You stopped it." In fact, Ellie had saved the entire country. By bringing the creature to the vet right away, she had helped catch the infection before it could spread even more. Later, investigators discovered something shocking. The creature had been placed in the forest on purpose. A radical group wanted to punish the government. But they were caught and arrested. When Ellie got better, she was invited to the president's office. In front of cameras and officials, the president gave her a medal and thanked her for her courage. Ellie grew up to become an environmental hero. She started her own animal rescue center and taught others how to protect nature. And even though she never forgot that strange day, she carried one proud truth forever. She was the girl who saved a nation.